going on? What's going on? This is Night Views, your new favorite sports podcast where we talk all sports. We're still ramping up. You know, we started with basketball. We're ramping up. Football season's coming. When I'm talking sports, still Nation Sports, you already know I'm still Abdul, but I'm always joined by Silos. What's good with you, man?
What's up, man? How you doing?
All right, we good. We good. Shout out to everyone following in here a little bit. We are again getting this sports talk off the ground. Jovic, what's good in the chat? Now we're on my main podcast channel, Still Abdul Podcast. So welcome anyone that follows it, finds this feed. But listen up, y'all better head over to the sports channel, Still Nation Sports. That link is pinned on the main podcast chat. So make sure y'all go up there, move over there, because we're going to be streaming predominantly over there. Also, I'm on the X Twitter account, my main account, and Still Sports. And we're on Carlos' channel, YouTube and X Twitter as well. We got Money Train saying y'all need to ask this guy. Hey, we about to talk. Yeah. I knew Money Train would be here for this, bro. We need
the LeBron stand. The LeBron stand right there.
So definitely, like I said, the link is pinned in the comments on the podcast channel. Join this full live stream on the sports channel. Link is right there to catch this full show and catch us every week. Tuesdays, we're doing this around 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then during football season, Carlos, I think we agreed to do the Sunday night streams.
Sure.
So definitely that will be later this month when that kicks off. So let's just start off with the you already know it's about the men's Olympics team. We're gonna start with the men's team. Usually we start with the women. I know we had a theme going, but let's just let's just start off. Let's just throw this up here. USA versus France. I gotta say, I was really guess what's the best way to put it? Like, it was a very interesting run for the men's basketball, Carlos. Like, what did you just think? And we'll get to some specifics in a moment, but I really enjoyed this Olympic run here.
To be real, like, I'm glad it ended the way it did. These last two games could have easily, on our end, could have been blowouts. We could have blown both of these teams out. But I'm glad that, like, the competition level, and it actually helps out for the future of the competition level of basketball. You know, it was fun. It was really fun for me to see, Jovic going after it against that, Embiid with that Embiid battle, and then seeing a young Wemby come in and just go crazy. He's going to be around for a long time, and this really shows us that having a LeBron, a Steph, and a KD, the big three, if you want to call them, where do we go from here? Where do we go from moving forward? And I know we're going to touch on that later, but man, like it was fun to watch, and then seeing Steph just throw up like shots with his eyes closed. It's just like it's going to be a sad day when Steph Curry retires. It's fun to watch him play ball, man. It really is fun to watch him play, and yeah, it's let me see what we got over here. It said you needed help for the ref against us. Yeah. Jovic is saying over here, you needed help from the refs against us. I guess. Yeah, I guess. To be honest, watching both games, I honestly, and so can attest to this, y'all gonna call me a traitor. Against Serbia, I really thought Serbia was gonna win. I thought they were gonna pull the game, and then towards the end there, we were looking pretty sloppy. It reminded me. It reminded me of 2014 or 2013 Spurs versus Heat, when the Spurs just lost it, man. I thought Wemby's team was gonna come back and just take it, So, but hey, you let the chef Curry go to work, and Y'all took your best shot and y'all missed. Joker downhill from here. Yeah. Money Chain Drains is just he's a LeBron stan, man. I get it though. I get it. I want to know who are you gonna vote, like who are you gonna root for once LeBron's gone, Money Train? Like Trader, we get together every 4 years for the Avengers. Nah, listen. That can I prop that up? Nah, I can't. Listen, that what you're saying right there, the we get together to form the Avengers. The way that video clip after the interview after they won the game and LeBron's just like what do you guys call yourself? You had the Redeem Team, you had the Dream Team, and he like just the Avengers and like walked away and dropped the mic. It's like, come on, man, like really, like he just made that up on the spot. Come on, man. That was nuts. That was nuts. But yeah, who else we got here? We got Jovic over here, Joker, the MVP bros, for seasons in a row. Few seasons in a row. Yeah. So I guess we could kind of post this question to the chat. Me and Sil were having a conversation before. Who would you say after we lose the ADs? Obviously Bam might be coming back for the next 4 years of the Olympics. Who would you guys put in besides Chet? And we know he's obviously going to be in there, but there's really no big men in the league that comes to mind to us to take that spot. I saw on Inside the NBA today that they were talking about how AD's still going to be around to go to another Olympics. I think he's done. Okay. MTJ says Ant-Man up next. We got to have USA players move up in the talent rankings to make me feel more secure. Yeah, I'm with that. I got to say, man, I really hope that they go back to the original like tryout, actual tryout. You got to once you try out for the team, they vet you in, and if you make it, then you got to sign that 4-year contract. So, for the next 4 years, you got to commit to USA, or I think it's like 3 or 2 years, something like that. You got to commit to Team USA, and you got to work out for it and all that stuff. Like, I really hope they go back to that, because like the way they assembled this team, and me and Sil, we talked about it so much that it was very, very unorthodox how this team was made together. Yeah, big man Duran from the Pistons. Okay, that's. I haven't seen much of his work. I got to check him out. But Duran, I believe that's how you pronounce his name. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and actually pull that up myself. I got over here. So I actually got some big news this week before we get into this topic. Well, today actually. So September 8th. I will be going to. I know we're not touching on the ladies right now, but shout out to the ladies. I'll be going to a Liberty versus Aces game, man. I am so excited to see that. It'll be my first WNBA game, and it's against Titans. So like, I cannot wait to see this matchup. You're gonna see my girl Casey Plum, and Aja Wilson. Hopefully, I see Bam out there. Fellow Heat. I'm excited for that. Let's see. So, does ESPN allow you to do straight like looking up players off teams? About to check that out. Oh yeah, players right here. Durant is like a baby Howard. If not him, we'll find someone. we'll find another Embiid to trade up for USA. Listen, man, the less Embiid, the better. I'm gonna just be real with you, man. I don't want no Embiid. I did not like him. That was probably my struggle. This Olympics run. I can't. As much as I want to enjoy watching Embiid play, it is the most frustrating thing as a big man to watch him play with his size, everything. Like it's tough, man. It's really tough to see him play. It's just it's not it. It's not it. Not for me anyway. I really love the way how Bam complimented. I know biased. I'm a Heat fan, but the way Bam complimented AD in that 4 spot and having AD, like AD was a monster. AD showed us in this Olympic team. He still got more in the tank to show. And if the Lakers don't treat him right, I see AD making a run for a trade, man. Maybe it's to go play with Bam. So let's position. Let's go center here, and we'll go here. Okay. Oh, how about Mo Bamba? How do you guys feel about that being in the Team USA? I think.
All right, my bad with that. Let's switch that over to that. I'm gonna pull up the. Did you already start the who would be in the next 4 years?
A little bit, yeah, and we got some in the chat. Just kind of talking about it.
All right, let's jump over here real quick. Apologize for that.
You good? No worries. I was trying to vent.
No, you're good. You're good. You held it down there. So yeah, we'll get to the MVP conversation definitely in just a moment, for sure. But with the Team USA winning again, we'll talk about the MVP. But the holdovers, like who could be on this next team overall? Now, this is a roster from this year,
right?
And as me and Carlos was talking about before the stream, they try to have some consistency with the staff and some of the players. So if we're going to say who will carry over, we know LeBron, KD's not going to be back. Steph likely going to be back as well. Yeah. But I would say first person just on the list, I would say definitely I would bring back Bam. Just for the continuity. What you think with that?
Yeah. So straight up, Bam. Obviously Anthony Edwards. I did not like this. They mentioned it today on NBA Inside. Like making this team go through Devin Booker. That is not the guy you want running this team, this new generation. I don't want him. If he does come back, that'll be cool as a role player, as what he played.
Yeah.
But not as the. In other words, not as the Anthony Edwards as we saw, the year prior in the FIBA World Cup. Other than that, man, you have him. They did mention Anthony Davis, and obviously Tatum, but I highly doubt Tatum be back. So yeah, so we'll be right back. But yeah, that is kind of how I see it. I don't see Tatum coming back, especially Durant and Cade. Okay, they've been. Actually, especially Cade. I do see Cade definitely being on it. He was actually for consideration when Kawhi was out. Between him, Cooper Flag, and I think Hawkes, because they were like the best out of the past practice squad. They were happy with what they saw. But yeah, any of those good guys. Brown might say. To be real, man. Like, because obviously this is what everybody's saying. Yeah, Tatum will be back. I honestly don't, especially if Jalen is accepted on the team. Like, if he comes play on the team, if Kyrie and Jalen end up on this team, I highly doubt Tatum will be here. And that goes to say, remember that team when Kyrie was in Boston? He was closest with Jaylen Brown. So that just, I know we don't want to talk about too much about the drama going on, but that's something to keep an eye on. I really don't see if Jaylen Brown makes the team, I do not see Tatum joining. That's just me though.
I'm gonna go on a limb, and we'll talk about Tatum in a moment, but I don't think there's any way Tatum's gonna be back 4 years from now. If the committee is the same that it is, I don't see any way. The same coaching staff, and of course Brown. We'll talk about some reasons why Brown may really not be back, or not be on the team. But yeah, we'll talk about that. But so I think those two are out. So far, I say Bam. You were saying you was hearing people talk about AD.
Yeah, yep. They were mentioning it'll be his last hoorah for the Olympics, the next year. So that's
I guess how old is AD? Hold on, let me.
AD really ain't that old though. When you look at it,
well, he's 31. There's no way he's gonna be 4 years from now. No way. This was his last hurrah here. We're glad he survived. Yeah, we're glad he survived this. But outside of that, of course, Ant Edwards, he is going to be the person you really do build around next time. I think 4 years from now. I do believe Halliburton will be asked back. I actually believe that they'll have Halliburton back.
You really think so? I think Brunson will take his spot.
Now, Brunson will be that'll be a good one. Yeah, and outside of that, those are the holdovers. So off the top of your head, Carlos, who would you want to add to this team?
See, this is where it gets interesting, right? Because
just a name or two,
yeah. This is where it gets interesting because we don't really have a big man besides Bam. I mean, he could hold that spot, but I mean, like I mentioned, Brunson. I would like to see Brunson. I think he could show out. Maybe a Ja Morant at that point. I think he's going to prove himself these next couple years. But yeah, we're going to be very guard heavy coming into the new Olympic year. So
yeah, I say Ja Morant. I think for sure. We're talking about 4 years from now, so you got time to rehabilitate.
TJ's tripping.
no, he's got it. But Ja Morant, I say Zion Williamson if he starts eating right, and Pablo Banchero. People shouted him out last because he was with the FIBA team, so I think he could be a good player. And Chet Holmgren. I'll go ahead and go on that bandwagon. But we need a big man. We need some length.
He needs to build more muscle, man. He needs to build more muscle.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. What do you say? Ja has to get better. Ja is like already all NBA level.
He just hasn't played, bro. Like that's all it is. He just hasn't played.
The last season he's actually finished, he was like all NBA, like second team.
If he would have never got into the troubles that he got into. Between him and Anthony Edwards, they're like the next face of the league. Yeah. And I think Ja would have took it.
Yeah, and Zion, like I said, he had his issues, thought issues, all kinds of stuff Zion's going through. And so it's like weight issues, women issues. So we'll see if he gets it together. But Ja for sure. He said Ja isn't point where what in the world?
Is it
watching the same?
Yeah,
are we watching the same player?
I mean, 3 points, but we don't get Ja Morant for 3 points.
He has a 3.
But we don't really get him for that, though. You feel me? Like you build around him for that because he's more of the explosive drive in. He'll shoot the 3 if he needs to. But
out of control, man. Totally out of control. What are we doing? But
I will shout out though. MTJ did mention Cade. He did have a great against the practice squad.
Cade Cunningham, yeah. Actually, that was a name I thought of earlier too. 4 years from now, Cade Cunningham, could be a solid player. Yeah, for the USA.
I find it crazy how nobody has mentioned Trae Young. Like he just fell off the face of the earth.
Well, yeah, because we don't want him on the team. That's why. That's why we didn't mention it.
Got there. Stop it. Oh man, we got a Ja hater in the chat, man. That's crazy.
I'm not understanding the hate for Ja. That's kind of wild right there. That's pretty wild. But yeah. So there's a few names. Looking ahead. Overall. But right now, let's before we get to the MVP conversation, and again, anyone that's on the main podcast channel, the Still Do a Podcast channel, we want you to click on the link on the top of the chat. Come over to the Still Nation Sports channel or Carlos channel. But we're going to funnel y'all over here. But before we do that, I think it's worthy to talk about what happened with Tatum. This was because as we talk about looking for 4 years from now, he will, he's only 26, right? So he still has 2 more. If he wanted to, he could do like 2 more Olympic runs if he wanted to. You would think he would be him and Jaylen Brown, but we understand the Jaylen Brown situation, and we'll talk more about that.
Yeah,
Tatum, he addressed like, hey, why wasn't he getting any play? What have you been able to make sense of any of this, Carlos? Because it's like they decided to start Devin Booker continuously. If I'm picking, because again, we're talking about BIG3 in this Olympics. This is the documentary, right? Last Dance, the Avengers. So this is LeBron, Steph, KD, right?
Yeah.
That's your BIG3. They were dead set on starting Embiid. Okay, so that 3 spot or whatever spot that is, they kept giving it to Devin Booker. I thought easily that's supposed to be Tatum right there, in my opinion. What do you make of this? Like, I still don't understand why he did. It was funny at first, but after like a couple, like 2 or 3 games, I was like, bro, this actually isn't cool that he's not playing.
So no, yeah, definitely, and I feel like a lot of the deficits would not have been as bad if Tatum would have played. But what I will say on defense of the coaching staff, after doing like a full overview of the whole game plan, one thing that Devin Booker did that Jason Tatum just, I guess it's not in him to do, is Devin Booker is known as the guy, he's the guy on his team, he goes, he scores, balls in his hand. He really deferred himself to being a role player. He was the guy going on cuts, the guy shooting the ball consistently, and that was the issue with Tatum. And that also comes both ways. He didn't get the playing time, so it was hard for him to get into a rhythm. But there was times where Booker didn't play for like a whole quarter, then he'll come off the bench, or like you said, he'll start, and he was just ready to go. And I think it's just the ready to go-ness of Tatum just isn't or wasn't at that level. So that's why it's like, Kerr, and not to defend Kerr because it was frustrating watching him coach this team, but and as I'm trying not to sound biased as a Tatum hater as well, but like he never seemed ready. Like it looked like he needed a full quarter to get ready every time he was on the floor. And it's just like, as that role that he had on that team, you can't do that. When we put you in, you better come ready to ball and be ready. That's why coaches always say, stay ready so you never have to get ready.
Now, I hope Tatum didn't think like they was going to run ISOs for him or something because I looked at it like when this team was first, announced or whatever, I was like, okay, Ant Edwards is that dude, right? But you understood after a couple games, this was going to be LeBron ball, and when it's ISO time, you give it to KD, run Steph off screens or run him pick and rolls. So there's no time to ISO Ant Edwards. So he goes to the bench, right?
Yeah.
So like I understood the structure. So Tatum, you better get in where you fit in right there. Be a smart 3-point shooter, play defense. Like it makes no sense to me. So you put more of the blame, and I'm not trying to say like blame, but just like Tatum didn't conform like to just be that all around player.
I mean, again, he's more focused on like being the guy, where you have a Tyrese Halliburton who in that moment, he was the only one who, there's a lot of games where he barely played a minute, but yet he's the first one off the bench celebrating all his teammates. Like not so much he's enjoying the ride, but he's taking it in. He understands his role. He understands that he's not going to be that guy. And a good example of what you mentioned with LeBron is in that last game, when Curry hit that dagger on 2 people when having KD and Booker wide open, after that, LeBron gets the rebound and Curry runs over to him like, yo, give me the ball. What does LeBron do? He throws a full court pass to Devin Booker, not even looking at Curry, who's hot right now. Right. And as a role player, what's the first thing Devin Booker does? He's under the basket for that easy dunk. And it's like that Tatum would have just stayed in the back or, something.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. I mean, with the Olympic teams, I mean, I always go back to the 92 Dream Team, right? Like,
Yeah.
it was about conforming to a system. At that time, it was about Michael Jordan, Charles Barkley, uh, Magic wanted to get 20 assists a game, and so it's like you had to kind of fit into that structure. And it's like Tatum has to realize like you weren't the top 3 dude on his team. And again, I think, like you said, if he would have gave more effort while he was getting minutes, he probably would have found a spot. But I think the difference between him and Ant Edwards is like, yeah, like I'm a dog, okay?
Yeah.
But we got these Hall of Famers here, so okay, I do got to take a step back, right?
Yeah.
But
in other words, these are his idols. He looked up to.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So give me the second unit, and Ant, he had his ups and downs, but it was like he played his role. The bench mob was really carrying him up to the semifinals.
Yeah.
The bench mob was pretty big. Then after that, it was all about the big 3 for the silver and the gold. But Tatum, he may have to get used to this because, like, according to some reports, Jaylen Brown's the best player on the Celtics. So Tatum probably has to find a role.
and you know what? And MTJ right here, he mentioned it. He's in his head too much, man. Like, we get it. You won the championship. You know.
Yeah.
You didn't get the MVP. You didn't win MVP, but you got a championship, so we get it. But that don't give you the right to just be like, yo, I'm here. I just won a championship. You better give me the ball. Nah, Tatum, it ain't like that, bro. Like, you got to earn your keep, and that's all it is on that.
Yeah. So, like I said, Tatum, he's he's an all NBA level player. The stats show that he was on the all NBA first team this past season. So no one's taking that away from him. He was an important part to the Celtics winning the championship. It just he wasn't the best player. That's all. So sure. That is what it is with that. But let's get to the main conversation we want to get to as far as concerning the Olympics men's before we shift gears to other topics. Is the MVP given? First off, I forgot they gave MVPs. I didn't even I don't know.
Did they mention it? I didn't even see during the ceremony when they gave him the gold. I didn't even see it.
I didn't. I think it's just like a title they give him because I don't remember that in 2008. Because Kobe was obviously the MVP if you're going to give that to someone in 2008. But I just don't remember that, right? But I guess they gave LeBron the MVP overall, and there's there's some pushback on sports social media that hey, like, if the goal is to win the gold, right? Like who took you to the promised land? So there's 2 different arguments with this. Obviously LeBron got it. Some people think Steph had the biggest impact. Carlos, I mean, what you think with this, man?
I can see both views on that, but Steph would not have been as open without LeBron being on the floor. So without LeBron, with all the commotion and the energy that he brings, like, to every and most of the games before, like, he was the main guy taking a lot of the last shots and stuff like that. But without LeBron being there, Steph would have been great, but he would not have been this, which is just like, there's no words to what Steph Curry did on that basketball floor. But again, it all starts with your leader, which is LeBron James. So
I think to be fair, I mean, I think me and you had this conversation probably during the exhibition games. Yeah. I was like, LeBron has. I like LeBron's energy. Very early in this run, I was like, I like how LeBron, he's galvanizing. Again, I compare everything to 2008 because it's like it was that redeem team energy this year, because like you lost in FIBA and they lost the Olympics like before that. So I like what LeBron was doing. Is okay, you taking this Kobe role, like rallying the troops. So LeBron started that very early. Now we got the stats here as it says, as far as points per game, Steph did edge out LeBron because of those last 2 explosions for Serbia and France. Steph just went off. But rebounds, assists, field goal percentage goes towards LeBron, more accumulative stats, and I say leadership goes to LeBron as well. So I understand the cries for Steph when it was money time.
Yeah.
Like you can't write the script what Steph just did. You know what I'm saying? Like this is movie level stuff what Steph just did. Like we're gonna be talking about this 10 years from now, 20 years from now. We're telling our grandkids about how the greatest shooter in the world, when it came time, he went the F off. Like insane.
Yeah.
I was so glad I was there to see that. But this Olympics MVP is for the whole run, not just the medal games, though those medal games are very important. I'm not mad at LeBron got the MVP. And I know a lot of LeBron haters, they're going to be like, oh, well, Steph did the biggest. I get it.
Well, I mean, if that's the case, then why isn't KD in that conversation? Because without KD, I mean, KD broke records of his points that he scored. And a lot of games, when they put him in, he's the reason why they're carried up to that threshold when it comes to
right.
So, like, if you're really having that conversation, then it's like you got to throw KD in there.
I mean, if we're talking about late game theatrics in the Serbia game, the semifinals, KD was the ISO guy at the end where it's like, okay, take us home, give KD the ball. And out of that whole team, that's who you wanted in the ISO situation. You know what I'm saying? So definitely it was, it took all that big three to get to, to win the gold. Steph had the more flashier moments. KD, I think, which is more workman with it, like, ISO it up. And like I said, LeBron, that's a Captain America. Like he had the passion, the emotion, everything I wanted to see LeBron. And hopefully he does that for the Lakers next season.
MTJ, we talking about the Olympics. KD didn't miss any games. Yeah. He just missed the
he missed some exhibition games. Yeah,
exhibition.
But no one's saying KD's MVP. Like, what I'm saying? I know you're a LeBron lover, Money Train James. We're actually agreeing with you, James. Like, LeBron
is on your side, bro. It's okay.
It's okay. No, you're not gonna take it. No, but LeBron. I think again, I understand the arguments because of it is about moments. That is true. And Steph, like I said, Steph had a storybook moments 2 games in a row. But the entire run, you gotta give it to LeBron. Definitely gotta give it to LeBron. So not mad about that at all. Now, as I'm looking before we transition, I see a few people on the Self-Do Podcast Geek channel. Click the link pinned on the top of the comment section because we're about to cut the feed on the main podcast channel because y'all got to be on the sports channel or on Carlos' channel. Shout out to X Twitter. We're on the X Twitter account and the Still Nation Sports account and Carlos' platform as well, too. So now's the time to make the jump because sports is going to be on the sports channel. So just to make that very clear, appreciate again anyone that has watched us on the main feed. Come on over to the sports channel as we go forward. So going forward, we're going to stay with the Olympics conversation. We're going to jump over to actually the ladies.
Okay.
Did you get a chance to see any of this or any highlights or anything with it?
I saw a little bit of it. I was actually working while watching both games, but I saw it was a close one. It was definitely a nail biter. I did see that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Crazy how they won this game. First off, shout out to France again. Yeah. Women's France. Because, again, the men's France was in the finals against the men with Wemby and that crew over there. Women's France made the final. So you had like a back-to-back USA versus France, which is crazy. In Paris, France, which is crazier. And this game was even closer against the women. So, first off, bravo to the Team USA women's. Y'all had, at least a couple of the best women players in the world. Aja Wilson, Breanna Stewart, are like 1A, 1B.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people have been hearing about Aja Wilson with the Las Vegas Aces, defending champs back-to-back. don't sleep on Breonna Stewart with the New York Liberty. Man, I didn't know how good this chick was, bro. I had no idea.
I just want to say I got tickets for Liberty versus Aces in September. Man, I can't wait. It's gonna be my first WNBA game, and it's gonna be against the rival. Oh man, that's gonna be fun to watch.
That's I definitely appreciate the top level women that's playing, and so they were all on display. Now we talked about what they could have done with the roster. We're not going to use this time
to
celebrate them. You had some of the best players assembled. They came through. What was crazy with this France game is that the women were up by 3. USA women up by 3. France has the ball with like 2-3 seconds left, right? They throw the ball down, and one of them just got – a couple of them were WNBA players on France, which was very interesting. Seeing the level of competition of women just – that's kind of crazy. Like WNBA, you have the best women in the world, and they were from France, though. So one of the women, I forget her name, but she heated up in the fourth quarter there. She gets the ball. She takes a shot. She banks it in, but her foot is on the line.
Ooh, the KD moment. That's what happened.
Yeah, this should have went to overtime. Like her foot, like she nailed the France, the woman from France. She nails it at the buzzer, banks it in after she had like 2 shots before that. The U.S. women, they are like, man, they are grateful to escape this game. Overall, like it's crazy. It's crazy how the level of competition, Carlos, is really what I want to focus on with men's and women right now. Is that, are you surprised? Like, because me and you was talking during that Serbia game, first half, who was like, the men's was like, bro, they about to lose this game. Like,
I said it. I said it before the game started. I was like, yo, like, is it wrong that I think they're gonna lose?
They about to lose, bro, right? So I was like, the level of competition has gone up. Like Serbia, France, Germany's been good. I think everyone except Canada. Canada would never catch the United States. Like,
they got Drake to blame for that.
Canada never catches up. They fumbled the bag like in this one. But what do you think of the overall level of competition, men's and women?
Well, I mean, honestly, man, I feel like it's coming to a point, at a great point, especially for NBA, with all these rumors we're hearing about how they want to, mesh up with the FIBA and all that stuff. It's putting us, the U.S. country, on notice that we need to stop relying on talent. There's more talent out there. You know, the game of basketball is so big. So, and for the WNBA, it's the same thing. Like it's going all around, so it's fun to watch, man. As a basketball fan, I'm enjoying the competition.
For sure. I think they got to bring their A game like every Olympics now, every FIBA.
Yeah.
And again, as we're learning in the NBA firsthand, is that some of the best players in the NBA are from other countries, so they're not going to be representing the USA. So you got to really bring it, every international tilt here.
Yeah. No, 100%. 100%.
Crazy. So speaking of that, let's get to our last topic here with speaking of FIBA and things like that. There was talks, during the Olympics, you had the 3-on-3 basketball rounds that went on, and it was probably the worst basketball I saw like all year. Like,
can we call that basketball?
Somehow every country sent the worst 3 players possible, and like they competed. And I think it was the Netherlands. And props to them, they got to go 3-on-3 men's. Now, in the middle of this, leading up to the gold medal game, Ice Cube, owner of the BIG3, basically threw out there that, hey, whoever wins the BIG3, whoever wins the 3-on-3 challenge in the Olympics, we formally challenge y'all. to just during the All-Star game. Just come through there just to have fun with it. Just kind of how Jaylen Brown went there last year. Just have some kind of theatrics with it, and just say who's the best 3-on-3 team in the world, right? Big three All-Stars or the Netherlands gold medal team. Well, Ice Cube had an update, so we're going to actually listen to this here. Actually, we're going to watch it.
Last week we talked about the challenge that you submitted to the gold medal team in the Netherlands. What's the update there?
Well, to their credit, they accepted the challenge, but it's FIBA. FIBA is scared of the Big Three, so FIBA is preventing them from playing in our All-Star game. So don't look like it's going to happen because of that. It sucks when politicians get in the way of sports and fandom, but we're going to still have a great All-Star game, still going to have a great championship celebrity game next week. No sweat off our brow.
Well, you know what that means. In the next few years, we might have to take the Big Three overseas and play some exhibition over there.
We'll play them anywhere they want to play, any rules they want to play with. We still think we got the best 3-on-3 players in the world.
I agree. Thanks, Cube.
Talk that talk, Cube. Talk that talk, man.
So really cool. I think first of all, shout out to Ice Cube. He has a great marketing mind. I mean, he was the one that offered Caitlin Clark the contract to come to the Big Three. They gave him a lot of publicity and marketing with that, and who knows if she would have took it or not, but she didn't. Now with this here, what do you think with I think it was last week or so, we've been talking about the weird energy that the NBA has been given Big Three. What's your thoughts on that, Carlos?
Well, so I kind of touched on it. I think it was last week or the week before. It was very on the nose. Ice Cube comes out. He puts a tweet out there saying how he wants to, take the Big Three to the Olympics, right? And out of nowhere, this story comes out that the NBA has been in talks for a long time with FIBA on how they want to start collabing and making more games together. And it's just out of all this time, you've been having this quote-unquote conversation for a very, very long time, and now you decide to drop that you're having these conversations with FIBA after Cube just said, yo, I want to bring my boys over there and play with them and stuff. And it's just this is another stepping stone that solidifies that. It's again, so now FIBA is trying to make things with NBA, as we see. And now they're on the bandwagon of, okay, let's shut down this Big Three. And it's just why aren't you working with him, with these ex-NBA players to bring the brand up more? It just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I mean, Cube talked about this last year as well with and I say NBA because as you kind of put it together, he mentioned FIBA in the video.
Yeah,
but NBA was the one that was oh, hey, we're actually trying to do something with FIBA, and I could totally see NBA saying, hey, you can't work with any other league than us. There was some kind of agreement or something,
right?
Very shady stuff that happens with this. You're talking about millions and probably billions of dollars with endorsements and advertisements, so people get really crooked with that. So, them trying to block out the Big Three. Cube last year, he called out Adam Silver specifically and the NBA, talking about they were blocking advertising deals for his Big Three, organization there, his league. And then he invited NBA players to come to last year's All-Star game. Jaylen Brown shows up to that All-Star game, Big Three All-Star game. All of a sudden, Jaylen Brown's blacklisted from the men's Olympics team. Now, it could be other things tied to that because, Kyrie was blacklisted for another reason and things like that. But Jaylen Brown, he's part of the Players Association for the NBA.
Yep.
And he was kind of doing an olive branch, but I thought it was really cool. I was yo, I'm a fan of Jaylen Brown because he wasn't acting too big. He was let me come and play a little scrimmage with y'all, right? And that was really cool for the Big Three. And I think, like I said, because that's part of the reason why Jaylen Brown would probably never be on the Olympic team for the men's now because.
Oh, so you think this is just it? He's cemented in that.
I don't think he's ever. If this committee is where it's at, and it starts at, and I'm not talking about the coaching staff. It starts with the committee that actually puts it together, and they put Grant Hill as a face of that, which kind of sucks because like I was always a fan of Grant Hill, but he has to play the politics to this. It comes down to money, so it's like, okay, so why would NBA have some problem with the big three? It's advertisement. It's about dollars. That's what this is about. If there's another American grown basketball league, people out there, y'all familiar with a market share? At one time, market share just like, okay, this product, how much percentage of the pie do we get when we put these products out to the world? The best example I can give y'all when Nintendo was just starting to kind of peak, this before like Sega Genesis and stuff, and Nintendo literally had like 100% of market share. If you went to the store to buy a video game at that time, you were buying a Nintendo game or a console or anything like that. And then Sega Genesis comes in and takes a piece of the pie. Market share, gaming. So NBA is saying we got a monopoly on American basketball. We don't want to give any shares of the pie here because if someone advertises, then we're going to get less overall upon the billions and billions that we're getting. We're going to get less. So it sounds like it does sound bad, but it's like it is business. It sucks. That's how nasty it gets. And Ice Cube realized this, that he's facing an uphill battle with his league. But all I will say, Carlos, is that gives me more like impetus to be like, I want to support the big three. I want to kind of push whatever they're doing. You know what I'm saying? Because of that.
And it's on Ice Cube's part. It could have been very easy for him to just be like, all right, we're gonna scrap it. You know, we can't do nothing. The way he's moving about this. He's keeping it real, as Ice Cube always does, and he's voicing his problems with it, but he's still pushing forward. He's like, we're gonna figure out a way to do it. And honestly, that's how you run a business, bro. Like he's a lot of people need to start taking notes from Ice Cube. That just because one person tells you no doesn't mean you have to stop everything you're doing. So
right. The door, just because that door is closed, like there's other doors. Definitely to look in. So, like I said, I mean, that's really what I take from this. I mean, business gets ugly, y'all, and that's why I use the example of Nintendo because they got really ugly when Sega was trying to get, into their territory, and they don't fight fair, man. These you talking about a difference between having billions of dollars or hundreds of millions. They're like, oh yeah, why should that matter? But I mean, that does matter. I mean, that does matter to these business
when all
people.
You do is count money all day. It matters.
You rather the billions than hundreds of millions. I mean, I know it sounds bad, but that's the world. And Ice Cube realizes this, but I like how he's going ground level with it. Like, talk to the people. You know what I'm saying? It's like, y'all remember me? I'm Ice Cube. And so I think, like I said, that really just makes me want, like I said, promote Big Three more. They stream a lot of games exclusively on X Twitter. So next thing I'll see a Big Three game, retweet it. You know what I'm saying? Throw a comment in there and show Ice Cube some love. Like he's fighting for the people. So that's all.
Yeah. Also on Hulu Live, if you guys have the TV through Hulu, they show them on there on the FS1, I believe. But yeah, they show all the games on there. I got them all recorded. So.
Yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up, man. So that's cool. So we'll see how that kind of comes about. Big Three All-Star game. I think it's coming up soon. I'm sure they'll tweet all that stuff out real soon. So going forward, as we mentioned, as we kind of round this out, we obviously going to have our Tuesday shows every week around 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And starting the week of when the NFL opening week, we're going to start the Sunday NFL wrap-up shows around the same time as the goal. And that's going to be really cool as we kind of branch out night views. Like, it's not just basketball. It's going to be football, college football, and not just NBA, but, WNBA and college as well. So we're going to be kind of around the clock Carlos. Unless we find some baseball people to help us out. I don't know when we're gonna take a break. Probably do baseball.
Well, I mean, as we're seeing, I mean, all these sports are beginning to be all year long now. You know, it's I mean, it's great for us because we have the content, but it's no sleep for the wicked, man. I'm gonna try my best to whenever I'm on, like if I go to a game or whatnot, maybe get some shots for you guys and stuff, put it together. So
that'd be dope. That'd be dope. We got some blasphemy in the chat. We're not even going to talk about that. But we're going to wind this. I just totally killed the mood seeing that kind of stuff. But like I said, we'll be back next Tuesday, and then the following week after that, I think it's going to be Sunday. Then we'll update y'all as we go. Again, shout out to everyone that's been watching this on the Still Nation Sports YouTube channel, on Carlos' YouTube channel as well, and on all our X Twitter accounts. We're just going to slide on out here, Carlos. Much love to everybody in the chat. Appreciate, again, all the support for this stream and the reach. If you're on X Twitter, if you're on Twitter, share out the tweet, repost it. That's a good way to help as well. Wait till the Bears versus Lions. It's gonna get really ugly over here. I'm just saying.
Hey, draft coming. Draft.
27. Draft. Yeah. Let them know. 27 coming up.
Yeah.
Let's go.